Good afternoon. Welcome to the Digital Weather Desk, powered by Century Next Bank. I'm Jared Floyd. It is Thursday, October 16th, and we are awaiting a cold front that should move through the area tomorrow. Still don't really have a lot of warm and fuzzies regarding the timing and the details in the forecast. Obviously, if you joined us this morning, we're still kind of in that weird window where we're still using and kind of leaning more on the more medium range global models, and some of the higher resolution, what we call convective allowing models, are not necessarily in a time frame. So we're kind of in this weird window in terms of figuring out the timing of this system. I do have some updated looks at the forecast. Today's forecast made possible by ServPro Monroe, West Monroe, faster to any size disaster. Visit servpro.com for more. As I mentioned this morning as well, most of our data gets updated right around this time during the day. I think most of the model runs are completed except for the European model. But so there is a refreshed look from the 7-day. It's a little different from where it was this morning. And we'll take a look at forecast highs for the next day or two as well. Temperatures right now generally in the low to mid 80s. Some spots still holding on to the upper 70s. It's 84 in Monroe, 82 in El Dorado, 82 in Magnolia. And there's the temperatures refreshing in Homer at 81. Gina is currently at 80. Dew points have started to climb a little bit, and you're going to notice that more tomorrow morning. Instead of being in the upper end of the 50s, a lot of us will be in the low 60s to start the day. By the way, you can see the city-by-city forecast for several cities across the region at the bottom of the screen. Trying to build more things like that to bring you information while we do these live streams, so you can kind of get what you need and kind of get some broader takeaways. Dew points, like I said, are on the climb. Low-level moisture starting to increase. And that's on the back of easterly winds, which should become a little bit more southeasterly and southerly as we go through the day tomorrow. Drought monitor updated this morning. Again, I showed it this morning, so if you saw it this morning, it's not changed since then. But the abnormally dry conditions are starting to kind of spread out across the region. And you look at precipitation, the normal precipitation over the last 30 days, and how much we've seen percentage-wise of that normal. And a lot of areas are running quite a bit behind. I like to show this graphic because it really shows where we are in the recent weeks. The drought monitor takes into account quite a bit of rainfall totals and things of that nature over about, I think, a 90-day span. So this is a little bit more short-term, if you will. Local loop doesn't show much. Pretty quiet. Likely to stay that way again tomorrow. I know Sterlington's heading west for a football game tonight. Most of our high school games are slated for tomorrow, and we've got some good ones tomorrow, too. I believe Neville and Ruston, Washita, West Monroe. If you have a specific game that you're excited about, you can obviously drop it in the comments section. Always feel free to say hello. Janet said the weather is nice. I'm glad. Hopefully it stays that way, although storm potential increases as we go into the weekend. So here's a look at Futurecast, made possible by Bayou Power Sports, I-20 frontage road in Monroe. And it shows, again, fairly quiet conditions, the clouds gathering, and the front approaching by Saturday afternoon. And so that is pretty much where this particular computer model ends. It's a higher resolution model. You can see a clearer picture of the simulations of what the computer model is trying to throw our direction. But it only goes so far out in time because it is a higher resolution, higher quality data. Onethia, good afternoon as well. So then I took the lower resolution model that goes farther out in time, the 15-kilometer model, and I started that at noon, and this is what rolls through the area as we go through the day, Saturday and into Sunday morning. By late Saturday night, Sunday morning, storm starting to move through the region, continues to advance southeastward through the pre-dawn hours on Sunday, and then most of the rain wraps up, I would say, by mid to late morning on Sunday. That is just that one particular computer model's take on things. I had a graphic built that I was going to share with you guys regarding my timing, my general thought process on the timing of storms in our area, and I built the whole thing out. And to be honest, I just didn't like it. I didn't feel good about it. I didn't feel comfortable about it. I didn't feel comfortable sharing it with you. So I essentially just deleted the whole thing. Wasted 30 minutes of my time. But I just didn't feel confident in it, and I didn't want to share it at this point in time when there would be potential for some larger wholesale changes as we go through the next few days. So again, just kind of being brutally honest, that's why I haven't thrown out, this is the timing we're thinking, because some computer models still suggest we could see storms as early as 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the afternoon and evening on Saturday. Some don't have storms moving in until, like I said, after midnight. So there's still a good 8 to 10 hour gap, and kind of stinks. Wish we had a better idea. We'll hopefully get that nailed down. Look at the severe weather threat. That's the same thing, just zoomed in. Slight risk level 2 for a good chunk of the area. Marginal risk level 1 for everybody else. Damaging winds, hail, tornadoes all seem possible at this point. I would think the general main concern in my mind is for damaging wind gust potential. But obviously, if there's damaging wind potential, there's usually the potential for tornado possibilities as well. Futurecast rainfall. And again, this kind of paints the general picture that I like to think is a good barometer of where we're going to see rain totals. Barometer being something that measures pressure, but you know what I mean. Storm-driven rain could be up in the 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch range. Obviously, some storm-driven totals in the 1 inch to 1.5 inch range is certainly possible. But there will be some areas that kind of fall short and only see maybe 1/4 of an inch of rain. And with the scattered nature of some of these storms, there's still a chance that some spots don't see any rain at all. The official forecast from the Weather Prediction Center is as such. Again, kind of falls in line with what the computer models take away from the general event as it moves through the area. There is a marginal risk level 1 for the areas in green for excessive rainfall. We call it the flash flood risk, but basically just meaning some storm-driven rains could lead to some locally heavy rain that could cause some locally heavy downpours and some street flooding and localized flash flooding. Again, not expected to be a widespread problem, but the ground's quite dry. We haven't seen a lot of rain, and then you dump a lot of rain in a short period of time, and instead of soaking in, it's not really beneficial as much, and it kind of runs off, and that can create some issues there as well. So that's kind of the overall forecast, and I know folks are from this morning are joining in and going, he didn't really say anything different. Like I said, we're going to get more and more detailed as we get closer to Saturday. And the first storm threat of the season, always kind of a tough one because the environment's changing so much, and so you don't know if the computer models really have the best grip on this. But there are some changes in the 7-day as well. High temperatures today, again, upper 80s, low 90s. It's going to be a warm one. As I mentioned, morning lows tomorrow will be noticeably warmer by 4 or 5 degrees in most locations as low-level moisture starts to increase. And another warm afternoon tomorrow with daytime highs in the upper 80s to low 90s. 7-day forecast made possible by 3B Hardware. And the rain chances, I've dropped them for Saturday day. And that's what you see on the 7-day forecast. And so I staggered the rain chances. I actually create 3 different forecasts for the area, one for El Dorado in the surrounding areas, one for Monroe in the surrounding areas, and one for Natchez, Mississippi in the surrounding areas. And then the forecast, we have the ability to kind of build a forecast off of those numbers for all the other cities and towns in the area. And so those rain chances are really focused on the Monroe area. 50% in El Dorado. I have them down to 20% in Natchez. So again, kind of a wide array of temperatures depending on your location, or a wide array of rain chances for Saturday depending on location. The overnight rain chances Saturday into Sunday go up to about 50-60% in most spots. So again, best rain chances are really focused Saturday night, Sunday morning. I could have probably put those on the 7-day forecast, but I'd rather just kind of explain it to you. Cooler temperatures to follow, back near 80 on Sunday, and then we bring another cold front in on Tuesday. It's been a couple of days of advertising that, and that could knock many spots into the 70s for highs second half of next week for at least a day or two. I have the forecast highs right at 80 for next Thursday, so if you wanted to look beyond the 7-day, kind of the 8-day time frame, again, close to or maybe even a smidge below normal for this time of year. As we head toward that time frame. So as I mentioned and I've been saying, this Saturday cold front, regardless of what it brings storm potential-wise, regardless of what it brings rain total-wise, it breaks up the pattern. It gets us out of the 90s, hopefully permanently. I can't guarantee that, but hopefully long-term we're out of the 90s. And then we start seeing the storm systems more frequently. We'll have your Sterlington football forecast a little bit later today. And then I'll join you this evening, hopefully with some more details as we get a little bit more in-depth into this Saturday time frame severe weather threat. Obviously, I'll bring you more if anything changes between now and then. I'll have a full kind of update article, if you will, that'll go out on Facebook and Instagram, and what's the other one that it goes out on? I believe it goes out on TikTok as well. And so you'll be able to check that out. If you want to read the forecast, I'll have that a little bit later as well. So Jerry and May and Jessica and Mary, thank you so much for hopping in, and for all the other folks that have not commented, thanks so much for taking part of your day and spending it with us here at the Digital Weather Desk, powered by Century Next Bank. You can always check the latest forecast at digitalweatherdesk.com. Like I said, I'll join you later today, and we'll just provide more updates. I would rather inundate you. Rather bring you too much information than not enough information regarding any kind of impending weather or weather threat across the region. I'll see you later today. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday.